said yellow vest, black tee. Is that what it says? No, it says blue tee, white shirt. You know, I'm talking about slow horses. I was switching it for something else. Don't worry about it, I'm crazy. I'm not really. Just joking. I don't know. I could be. How do you know, really, if you are? What do you say? He said, I said blue tee, white shirt. Filled the training thing. Yeah. They usually do. You know, the werewolf was corrupt against God. Really what it is a curse of a soldier. It was a soldier that was cursed by the lycanthropy. I can't pronounce right now, Lycanus or something like that. It's a Greek king, almost kind of like, that becomes very angry and is cursed to eat human flesh out of because of his anger. It comes out of slaughter. You know, it's like when you kill an animal, you kill it for its food. You know, and the werewolf doesn't. Kills it for like legality or something, some kind of curse. You know, it was following a curse that was put upon him, a regulation to slaughter at no mercy and just out of anger, and sometimes just because they're in the pathway. Of something greater than them. Kind of coming up with original themes for werewolf stuff. The Wolfman thing is cool though. It rains and then the rain goes in the soil, and that rain goes into the river, and the rain goes into the sea. Eventually turns into tears, and that becomes the predestination of it.
Would the passenger who left 2 laptops please return to security checkpoint E18 to reclaim?
Yeah, I was wondering, did you see any laptops? What type of laptops are they exactly? Is it Apple? Just wondering. That's probably not something I want to say. No, I'm joking, I wouldn't do it. There's a trucker coming out of DFW. He hauls pretty much his own trucks. Pretty good gig, because CDL can be very, very tough. That's what they name the license on trucking, CDL. But these are newer trucks, and he just has to worry about the truck only, so he doesn't have to worry about freight, which is the way to go if you're going to end up being a trucker. Heck of a guy. He's been doing it for quite a bit of time. He said to go close to the gate, and then the sensor would open, or the sensor would. Maybe he said to go to the left side, I think. I know he said something about going to this gate. Yeah, there it goes. It reads it from this angle. You can see the sensor right there. See how it's catty corner? I'll show you when we go up there. Because he said something about going on this side of the gate. If you go on this side, you can't get out. But that side, there's a sensor, and it's angled. I'm going to show you what he meant. He meant going closer to this sensor right here. See the angle on it. See how it's angled like that? So it only reads the car so much. You're gonna come across that. Haul-away drivers. That's what they're called, haul-away drivers. They haul away the truck itself. All right, my friend. Beautiful sunset. He let me get a few shots of it, not a whole lot. Coming to the trucking center. It was too pretty not to film the sunset, but it already went down now. I can certainly talk about it. Got a couple of shots of it. And we talked about Biden and Trump, and I'm kind of a fence sitter on the whole issue. I really shouldn't be. I've been told not to be, but unfortunately that's how I am. I probably side. I'm not going to tell you. But I can tell you this, though. One thing I wish Biden would have done is more police reform. Because that was one of the things. I didn't get to vote for him, though. I'm honest with you guys on everything. I didn't get to vote for him. I did vote for Obama, and I do talk about that. And I tell you what, with everything that's going on in the country right now, the word Trump, I'm quiet about that. My mom's a big Democrat. My father's a big Republican. Okay, so I have to honor thy mother and thy father. That makes me a third party. Okay, let's just put it that way. I'm kind of a third party guy. But I think being friendly to the environment, I think that's a way to go because it's going to create jobs. Renewable energy. All this stuff that's going on, it's going to be very hard to vote this year. I'm going to try to. I don't know I don't think Adam the Woo gets real political. I don't know for sure. I'd have to watch some of his previous shows. I don't think he does, but he does vote. So I will keep it quiet. I'm probably not going to tell you who I'm going to vote for, but I've told you some past people that I voted for. I did vote for George W. Bush. So I have flipped from Republican to Democrat. Well, George W. Bush, that was Republican, but then I later voted for Obama. So I've been both. And I've attempted to be a teacher a long time ago. I was a private school teacher for a while, and I've also, most of my life has been 30 years struggle with acting, trying to be an actor. And that's why I started this show too, because I love acting. I love theater arts, and I love film, drama, and movies and everything. I hear Tom Hanks is a big Democrat. I am a Tom Hanks fan. But this is going to be a decision I make from the heart. There's one thing that I am, though, that's a big deal. I'm pro-life. So, I'm a big pro-lifer. I think that babies have the right to live. But I don't want to get into the whole thing. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you exactly what I am. Just right now, I'll just say that I'm more third party than anything else. I also told him about Barksville, Texas, a fictional town that I made up for the werewolf movie. And told him about the sequel where the whole town turns into werewolves. I thought it was pretty interesting. Mostly he just responded with, yeah. He was just a trucker. Nothing magical. Just trucking. Drive-by trucker. I put on some drive-by trucking. I got one song about, I hate when they do that, sideburns. Yeah, they zoom by. They're not supposed to engine brake, but I'm going, it's not too bad. They have a job they have to do too. They kick up those rocks, though. Truckers are something we deal with. Let's get all noir, kitty. Get all noir. I just found out Quentin Tarantino is casting John Travolta. Good choice. John Travolta is a tremendous actor. Blowout's one of my favorite movies, Brian De Palma Blowout. Also, he did a very good job in Fanatic and got gypped by the whole Academy. He should have won probably Best Picture for that role, for sure. It was called Fanatic. Got to see it. John Travolta came out a few years ago. He didn't even get mentioned. He didn't even get nominated, which was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. John Travolta is probably one of our finest actors since Laurence Olivier. Probably better than him. John Travolta is a great actor. Look at Saturday Night Live. I'm sorry, Saturday Night Fever. He's on Saturday Night Live too, but Saturday Night Fever. Saturday Night Fever, Blowout, Fanatic. He's done a few that are a little questionable. I like the thing he did with the son of John Cassavetes, Nick Cassavetes. She's So Lovely, with Sean Penn. Cool that he chose John Travolta. That's cool. He already chose him before in Pulp Fiction. And that was, he was nominated. I think he got nominated for that one. Travolta. I want to say he was nominated for that role. I'll have to go back and look. But that's a good choice. So, Tarantino's watching him. It's a good choice. You can't go wrong with Travolta. So, the Quentin Tarantino movie is called The Movie Critic, which I think Quentin Tarantino's just right there in line with Citizen Kane. I'm sorry, not Citizen Kane, or Orson Welles, but you know what I mean. It sounds like a Citizen Kane move. That's a great subject to tackle right now, The Movie Critic. But it's supposed to be kind of a Pulp Fiction reunion and cast, not in theme. I don't think it's going to be. I'm assuming it's not going to be the same as Pulp Fiction, but it's going to have the cast, a lot of the same cast members. So Keitel may show up. We might have Samuel Jackson there, things like that. Tim Roth, may show. Maybe even De Niro. I don't know for sure. De Niro wasn't in Pulp Fiction, but Keitel was. But De Niro did work with him in Jackie Brown. We'll just have to see. It's going to be something to look forward to. I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in the movie theater. I thought it was the best thing that year for sure, and maybe could have got Best Picture. I thought I was hoping maybe Best Picture. Also, another thing about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's my favorite Quentin Tarantino other than Reservoir Dogs. Those two are my favorites. Reservoir Dogs first, and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Just amazing. And how that guy does it, man, highly entertaining. Supposedly he floats around in his pool and then he makes like a mixed drink and then he starts writing his ideas down. And this goes on for like a year or two. That's what I heard. I always go with 7. Be honest, I had a fantasy that I was going to play The Movie Critic. Luke Perry died playing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, practically. I was a kind of a Luke Perry lookalike a little bit back in the day. I wasn't as good looking as Luke Perry, but I was in the ballpark figure. Be a great role for me, though, to play a movie critic. John Travolta will do fine. Anyway, this whole Travolta thing is going to be interesting. I think he was really good in Fanatic, so he's still got his chops. This movie critic thing is going to be kind of cool. I'm gonna dig it. I'll probably be one of the ones where I'll go into the movie theater. You better use Samuel too. I saw Samuel interview too, so I've seen him live. I haven't seen Travolta live though. I'll tell you one thing, Samuel is very animated actor. One of our best too. Cool cat. Got yourself some smokestack coming all the way from Wisconsin. Smokestack, you gotta get it from Wisconsin. It also comes to Texas. Brought to you by the Blue Jean Committee. Which you probably haven't heard of. You gotta watch the documentary now. Planters, heat nuts. Get your peanuts and make it heat. Make it real hot. I've been taught by a lot of salesmen door to door to keep it simple. But every once in a while you want to spice your life up. Try it with heat nuts. Planters. Now, you probably say to yourself, that didn't make any sense. Sometimes stuff doesn't make sense. But planters makes a lot of sense. So go out there, get yourself some heat nuts. It's peanuts that are heated. Heat peanuts. I'm trying. If it didn't look like I was trying, if it looks like I'm vlogging, then that means I'm doing it right. Because that gets more advertisement. Michael Caine version. Heat peanuts. Some heat peanuts. Eat them, it's good. Doesn't look like a mac at all. It's Michael Caine. There's Winco right there. Winco company. Linda worked there. The employees own it. That's the way to go in America right there. She worked there for a while. Winco. Always makes me think of that scene in Christopher Guest movie, Best in Show, where he's sorry, excuse me. Best in Show. I'm gonna walk Winky. That's like, it is very funny. Eugene Levy. I'm gonna walk Winky. You're not gonna lose with a line like that, you know. Man, that was the life, man. I lived Denton. This is Denton. I'm in Denton. I lived here when I was 27. Well, I was actually 26, about to turn 27. I was graduating University of North Texas, getting ready to go to Hollywood. I was going to move as close as I could to Hollywood. I got to Long Beach, California. Moved into the Paradise Gardens. And I would drive into Hollywood. But before I did all that, I used to jog the trails of Denton. I had a bike here too. And I'd bike up to a movie theater. It's not far from here. And I saw Fight Club. Brad Pitt was in it. It's his best movie. You know, Brad Pitt's amazing. But he was great in Fight Club. That's when I was like, this guy has earned it. When he started off, he had trouble, you know, as an actor. But with Fight Club, man, I was like, this is going to be a cool experience going to Los Angeles. Right before I left Los Angeles, my bank was right here where that Bank of America ATM is, I think. And the movie theater was like right here. Kroger's right over there. So the movie theater was right back there. They moved it. It's like they always move movie theaters. And that's where I saw Fight Club. And now you used to go to that Kroger and get dates. You know, those fruit dates. Yeah, that was the parking lot. And the movie theater was like tucked in right in the corner right over there. You can kind of see it. See, it looks kind of like, well, you can't really see it. I'm going to go over there. It was an old school movie theater. And in a minute, beyond those lights right there, we'll be there in just a minute. I got to do something real quick. I used to go to the Kroger that's over there. You can't really see it. Well, never mind. So that was the old bank I used. So whenever the guy took my wallet in Brooklyn, because I was getting tangerines, I got like 6 tangerines. I turned my back, my wallet was gone. This was the bank that he took from. It was like First Texas Bank or something weird like that. I had a tech, like First something bank. I had to call that bank and close it down when I was in Manhattan, because they were ordering checks to the Bronx. You know, they see an actor like, hey, that person's made of money. Anyway, now it's a movie tavern. Well, that's what talent means, but we're going to look at it for a minute. When I was going to Hollywood in 2000, it was literally like December of 2000 when I arrived, and it turned 2001. right then when I was in Long Beach. I was here first, and I saw Fight Club. I took my bike down here, and I watched Fight Club. First I went to Kroger. I got some like dates, you know, those Medolial dates or whatever, palm dates, because they're sugary. And I had a hippie girlfriend, and she used to put them in my mouth. So when she left me, all I had were those dates to kind of remember her by. So I'd go get the dates, the palm dates, the Medjool dates or whatever, and I brought those in, probably with some power bars, had some protein bars, whatever. And I saw Brad Pitt in Fight Club by David Fincher. I didn't even know who David Fincher was. Now they're playing a bunch of stuff. Barbie's playing. It's supposed to be like up for Best Picture, but this was just a regular movie theater. Now it's a movie tavern. It wasn't a movie tavern back in the day. I saw a few films here. The one I remember is Fight Club, though. Changed my life, and it also kind of was like they're doing Saw X, Eli Roth, and The Exorcist with my hats off to Ellen Burstyn and The Exorcist, and then something called The Blind, and then Taylor Swift is doing a little concert thing. Anyway, I just wanted to go by there. But yeah, when I saw Fight Club, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with this acting thing. That movie was amazing. Back then, they didn't have movies like that. It's very fast paced. It was almost like an MTV video or something crazy. Just all these different cuts, all this subliminal stuff, and the acting was amazing. Jared Leto's in it. Brad Pitt's in it. Edward Norton's amazing. It was Edward Norton's great performance. I'm horrible about female names, but the lady that plays the ingenue in that is completely hilarious. It was funny as crap, and I was like, I'm in. I'm gonna go ahead and go. After I saw that, it kind of was an icebreaker for me. So I was like, let's give it a try. These guys, this is like the best stuff I've ever seen in my life. It really, I'm really gonna take my hat off for Fight Club, because it really dug into your. I'm gonna say your soul. I don't say soul. I try to stay away from the word soul because it's general. But it gets into your skin. It gets underneath you. It's a dark movie. And I hadn't seen anything like that. It's David Fincher at his best, or at his early best. I thought it was David Fincher at his best. Very fast paced. And one thing that kind of made me a little mad, though, because I was a director at the time, I was directing Action by Sam Shepard. And at the very end of Action, I used the Pixies' Where's My Mind. And that's at the end of Fight Club, too. So it was like a complete coincidence that David Fincher found that song at that time. But I thought it was perfect for Action. And the story about Action was I was given the assignment to do a one-act play by Marjorie Hayes, who studied with Jerzy Grotowski. She was our teacher. I chose Action because I was a Sam Shepard fan. And believe it or not, Sam Shepard was coming into town in Dallas with Kathy Bates for playing Dashiell Hammett in a movie called Dash or something like that. I think it was Dashiell Hammett or something. Anyway, it was a movie about Dashiell Hammett, the writer. And Sam Shepard had a family emergency and could not show up. I wrote a letter to him, thanking him for writing great plays and being a great playwright. This is before he died. This is way before he died. Before I even knew he had ALS or anything, because he was battling with that his whole life. That's why he became an alcoholic. I think he was using it for self-medication. He was battling something. And he was in a movie theater in Dallas. My friend Rob found out about it. And my mom, I think she either got me tickets. My mom was involved with it somehow, which was not a very Sam Shepard-y move. But, I was like, where are these people from? It's like Mexico? I was like, this guy's coming to town. He's a playwright. It's like one of my favorite playwrights. I'm going to write him a letter and give him this letter. And, I was like sneaking in the back door kind of thing. Kathy Bates was there, though. And he's doing this premiere. They're doing a premiere of it in Dallas. And I think she called him up and got the tickets so I could pick the tickets up at the booth in Dallas. I forgot the movie theater. I wish I could remember it was in Dallas. And the letter said something about how I appreciate Sam Shepard. It was saying I appreciate you as a writer, as a playwright, and that you have changed my life. And Loud Muffler, you changed my life and my perspective on playwriting, you've opened up avenues for me, kind of thing. It was that kind of letter. And then at the end, I said, listen, I'm doing action at the University of North Texas. You're welcome to come and see it. I won't charge you for a ticket or anything. I'd love for you to come and meet the actors and talk. And that would have been so cool, because he's passed away now. Sam Shepard, we looked at him as Shakespeare. Literally at UNT at that time, when Marjorie gave out her book list, okay, because we had to go buy a book list, and it was wild and crazy. It was hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It was like a $1,000 book list. It was ridiculous. She had us buy all these independent versions of Hamlet and all these independent versions of As You Like It. There was no way anyone could buy that book list. And everybody I would talk to that had Marjorie Hayes was like, what is this? It was a long book list of almost like every Shakespeare play. Like, well, we can't get this, I did end up getting the complete works, but I don't think she expected every student to get every single book. But maybe, maybe she did. I don't know. But she put Sam Shepard right next to Shakespeare stuff, or maybe that's how the school library. That's how the library for the campus library for buying the books. Because you had to buy it from the bookstore. The bookstore is what it's called. That's how the bookstore laid it out. But it was like Shakespeare play, Shakespeare play, Shakespeare play, Shakespeare play, another Shakespeare play, and then Sam Shepard. He was seen on the same level as Shakespeare. That's who he was. He was our modern day Shakespeare, because he liked to have fun. He wasn't. I don't think he was as commercial as Shakespeare, but he was making philosophical points, and he wrote in a musical rhythm. That's what Shakespeare did. He wrote in a musical rhythm, which was verse, or he did prose, and he was similar, so that was on the same level. Now I'm trying to get to the point of what I'm talking about. Yeah, Sam Shepard. So he didn't show up. It was a movie. It was a premiere in Dallas. I was upset. I was like, man, I was going to give him that letter. So I had to keep the letter for myself. I don't know if I have it now. I probably don't, but I have it in my mind, though, that I did it, the action of it. And I did action, I did it, and it was well received. I hung an old 1970 lamp off of I call it a catwalk, but it's basically what it is. It's a plank that goes on the roof of this lab theater. You have to crawl up this long ladder. If you fall, you're dead. We didn't have any kind of rope to hold on to or anything. We climbed this ladder, get up to the top. I crawled over this thing. If I would have fell off that, boom, I'd be dead. That's how far up it was. Then I ran this long cord, extension cord, that was kind of hidden by this chain, because the thing, I bought it at a thrift store. I ran it all the way down right above where the actors were, not while they were performing. And then I hooked it up where you could light it, and you could pull the chain on the lamp, and it would turn on over the table. So it was just hanging in air. It's hard to do. I only had a day to get all that set up, and I had an old table, old recliner. You've got to read Action by Sam Shepard. He wrote it in London with his. I think his family was with him. I think his kids were with him when he wrote it. At least his wife was. Anyway, we did great. I had to get a substitute actor. Ray Wardle was his name. Great actor. He's a teacher out in Austin. He's an actor. Sorry that I called you a fat butt. I was just joking. I know you're pure muscle. But he was one of those muscly actors, kind of like Ed Harris or something, but kind of shorter, and he had a temper. But he did really good. And there was what the characters were. I don't remember the character's name. I don't want to get into it. But he was one of the male guys, and there was another guy. I want to say Shooter was one of the names. And Steven played the other character. He had kind of a lisp. I think he had I don't want to get into what he looked like, but he looked like Kenny Powers. So he looked almost like Kenny Powers, but way rougher. And he threw a chair across the stage, breaking the chair against the wall. Ray stays in the sofa the entire time. Not the character Ray, but Ray, the actor. And then I think I had to replace the other two. Christina was in it. I don't remember her last name right now. I think she remarried anyway. And then some other lady played Lupe. I think her name was Lupe. I always get the Sam Shepard names wrong. You know, I have to look them up. But it happened at UNT. And I saw it as a success. In the very end, I played, I thought it'd be kind of, you know, pop culture and stuff. So I put in the Pixies at the very end. And I used a flashlight at times where I would shine a flashlight on the actors as like a spot. And it had a bell. It was like a cook timer bell, you know, you use in a kitchen. And I just ring that randomly throughout the play just to keep the actors kind of on edge. You know, just to be like random in the middle of the production, just to see what they would do. So I was like ringing this bell, you know, every once in a while. They're out there acting. I'm ringing this little bell. I had this light going on their face and stuff. They did a great job. It was great, you know. And then Barbara, who was the costumer, I don't remember where we got the costume. It was like a thrift store. We got the costumes or whatever. Barbara said it was like the best thing she had seen there. I was thrown off. We also did another play a while back when I first got there called Project 414. And that was we all wrote that play. I had a line in, I took a line from Airplane going, oh, look, a cell at Penny's. It was about an actor about to jump off of a building. He was going to kill himself. And he's looking through the paper before he does it, and he finds that there's a cell at Penny's. And he quotes, you know, like an actor would do. He quotes Airplane, you know. Oh, look, a cell at Penny's. Trying to cheer himself up from jumping. He doesn't jump in the monologue, but he talks about, because he does this play, he writes everything on this one play. Don't ever do that, guys. On a screenplay or a play that you're doing, and the critics tear him up. So he decides to jump off a building. And that was one of the monologues in 414. 414 was a brilliant project. I don't know the name of the directors. Sorry, guys. I wish I could remember. It might come to me one day. I'm thinking of the lady's name. The guy had a ponytail. Looked like a musician that directed it. We all wrote it. It was all set around a gas station robbery. And 4 different perspectives. I forgot the name. I just learned it the other day. It's something that Akira Sari did. That's his name, Akira Sari. He did it in a movie. And I haven't seen that movie yet, but he does 4 different perspectives of something that happens. There's just 4 different points of view of what happens in this gas station robbery. And it happens, I think, with, I want to say 4 different people. 2 guys and two ladies are in it. And at the very beginning, when we meet in the middle of the stage, and we give each other this weird drink. Like it's like water, and there's like this light shining on the water, you know. It was like 7-Up or something. It was sparkling. So we drank that drink to go into the play or something. It was kind of artsy. People liked it. They thought it was like one of the best things. But, you know, I don't know. When I think about UNT and all the productions, I'm not going to say it's the musicals. I know the musicals were great. They did Chorus Line, and they did Cabaret. And they also did a good version of Medea. It was done with like a film and media, or it was like a media on stage. They use these big screens. And I heard they did a great production of Fences, August Wilson's Fences. There's a Denton Bucky's. I'm trying to think, though, if you'll just let me think for a minute, like what I thought was the best that I saw there. Lend Me a Tenor was really good. They did a version of Lend Me a Tenor. This was like between 1997 and 2000. I would fall asleep in my acting class, and Marjorie would get mad at me. I think that's why she told me not to be an actor, because I fell asleep too many times. So wake up, Cole, wake up. Oh, and I'd wake up. It'd be like it was a Shakespeare class too, but I liked it. I played the opposite of Othello. I can't think of the name. It's a guy that challenges Othello and kind of. I can't think of it right now because I'm driving. I'll look it up later. I'm trying to think, though, what I liked the most out of everything. It was probably Project 414 that I liked at that time, those 3 years. It might have been that play. I remember when I auditioned for it, there were hundreds. UNT has a mysterious thing, because when I was first getting involved, I had gone up there to a theater workshop, and my drama teacher told me, you may end up going here, because I was going to go to Wesleyan, Texas Wesleyan. because UNT was closest to town. That was a state school. But I did end up going there and graduating there. Peter Weller graduated from there. But it's crazy, the memories. It was theater. My roommate was a television film major. He would hit the wall sometimes because there was so much rap music playing around and women getting banged in the next door. It was rough. He'd get mad and put a pillow up to the wall and then hit the pillow. His name was Philip. He'd get so mad. He'd write short stories. The guy was always writing scripts. And I was always just laying there thinking of Heather Graham, Pleasure Zone kind of thing, and then playing guitar and then reading plays and memorizing what I needed to memorize. That was a major difference between the two. He was always writing. I was a radio, television, film guy. Always writing. Always correcting stuff. Getting the grammar right. Giving me short stories to read. And then I did write a play. This crazy play called Backroom and Jeff. I don't even want to recall it. But something similar happened to Linda, which is funny. It's a play about cannibalism and like an apartment complex. But she lived near something like that happened in Houston. Linda did. It's really crazy. We did a vlog on it. She lived near this guy who ate his girlfriend. It made national news, and she was living in the apartments like nearby. Linda's incredibly funny. I'm going to switch off of UNT for a while. Anyway, check it out. UNT might be the theater school, believe it or not. Secretly, it's secretly. The reason why is because they're so involved in music. They have a great connection with music. It's a great place for an actor to go because you're going to get a good music training. You're going to be connected to music if you go to UNT. It's not the best. It's not better than Actor Studio or like Juilliard or NYU Tisch. It's not that. It's not better than SMU, but it's a dang good theater school. That's where I went. Oh, by the way, when I got robbed in Brooklyn and my wallet was taken because I set it down on the counter and turned away, it wasn't tangerines. There were nectarines that I was trying to get. There were six nectarines that I was trying to pick up. Just wanted to correct that.